It's no surprise to anyone hearing this that L'Arche is an amazing organization both in London and internationally. As musicians from CCH, we all see and understand the incredible value of L'Arche's work. L'Arche is a diverse community where all people are welcomed and differences are celebrated. As an organization, they've helped countless individuals grow and flourish through compassion, kindness, and belonging. L'Arche aims to bring mutual care, respect, and peace between people in all parts of society. They have a strong belief that everyone has a purpose on this planet, and one of the ways that it seeks to bring inclusion is through music. L'Arche runs inclusive and unique musical experiences for all, such as music clubs, an open mic, drum circle, and more. At CCH, we have ensembles that also promote joy, peace, comfort, friendship, and a sense of family and community. Music has the power to change lives, and as two communities who value music over all else, we can see those effects. We are, after all, better together. Thank you to the L'Arche community for this incredible opportunity to share our music with all of you. With no further ado, I'm proud to present our Catholic Central High School Grade 11 String Ensemble, Camerata.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Better Together Gala here at L'Arche London. Marietta, good evening to you.
It's wonderful to see you, Melissa.
Oh, and we are going to have a special night tonight.
And isn't it fantastic to be here with so many friends?
It is. Well, you know what? It is called the Better Together Gala, and we are better together. You and I are together.
Yes,
We've got some others in the back here, and we'll introduce them to you afterwards. And, of course, we're better together because you are sitting at home, maybe in your pajamas, maybe with a glass of wine, maybe with a cocktail or two, we hope.
Yeah.
And I hope perhaps you also enjoyed and partook in the Posh Co's charcuterie board.
Yes.
It is, oh my gosh, so delicious. I have been chowing down on it all night
Melissa
long.
brought cheese boards for all of us. There's 5 of us here this evening, and she brought the food. So thank you.
Oh, well,
for that,
you are most
Melissa.
welcome. Well, you know what? I am going back over and over again. And actually, they're in this, I'm getting ahead of myself, but there is a silent auction we'll talk about in a second. But I've already put my bids on that because that cheese board was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not
from the
quite done yet.
Posh Cheese Company.
For the Posh Cheese Company, yes. Thank you so much. And Penny, you and your team are phenomenal.
Yes,
Love it. Thank
I
you.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're just so happy to be here this evening among so many friends. Most of us are tuning in to the L'Arche London Better Together Gala from our couches. So just really want to welcome you. Make yourself a cup of tea, pour yourself a glass of wine, make yourself comfortable, because we're just going to spend some time this evening with stories from our community, with reflection, with songs, with entertainment, and just really have a good time together. So welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here. And now I'd like to actually introduce Melissa. Melissa Schenk is with us this evening, and we asked her to be our Master of Ceremonies. You might remember her as the weather girl on CTV News in London, or know her as the owner of MS2 Productions, a high-impact video and social media marketing agency. Her professional experience spans a variety of networks from CTV, CNN, Shop NBC, The Shopping Channel, and more. With more than 22 years of experience on-air television and online video production, Melissa is our MC of our gala this evening.
You are too kind, and I said,
Oh, there's more. There's more. Yeah, what you might not know about Melissa is that she is very personally familiar with the work and the life of L'Arche. Melissa has a sister with special needs that benefits from the ongoing activities and events and special programs and supports of L'Arche. So welcome tonight, Melissa. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you so very much for asking me to be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. Thank you for joining us this evening. This is a very special night for a very special and worthy cause. And as Marietta said, one that is very near and dear and close to my heart and my family's heart as well. So we are going to have an amazing evening, and we have to first and foremost start off with thanking some very special people, starting off with our sponsors tonight. We couldn't have an event like this, a Better Together Gala, without thanking our sponsors. So first, our gold sponsors this evening. Thank you to Huron at Western. Thank you to our gold sponsor, Sobeys. And thank you to also our gold sponsor, St. Aidan's Church. Thank you so very much. We also have our friend of L'Arche sponsor, Bluestone Properties. And our supporter of L'Arche sponsors, Cohen Hiley, Davis Martindale, King's, Western University, General Dynamics, Tom McKerney from World Source Securities, and GCW Custom Kitchens and Cabinetry. And we also want to thank our in-kind sponsors tonight, Events by Sharon, Watt Solutions, McCormick, and Catherine Craig. Thank you so much. We have such a special evening planned for you tonight. So as Marietta said, kick back and relax, enjoy a cocktail or two. And I also want to talk a little bit about first the reason why we're all here tonight. In behind me here, you can see, of course, we're at the Better Together Gala, but this board's going to change a little bit. Once in a while, you're going to see a special board pop up because we are here for a special challenge tonight. Across the bottom, you will also already see people that have supported us so far, and we thank you so much when you registered to attend the Better Together Gala. Some of you already made a donation, and we thank you so much for that. Your names will be across the bottom of the screen coming up, and what I want to show you in a few moments, if we can bring it up, is the leaderboard, and we will see where we are at currently. There we go. Okay, so our goal tonight is $30,000 to raise for the Bonjour Cafe. You might not know or be familiar with the Bonjour Cafe, but by the night's end, you'll be very familiar with the Bonjour Cafe. So we'll explain a little bit more later what that's all about. But as we can see, on our board right now, we're sitting at $2,000. We've got about an hour, a little over an hour. We've got a lofty goal, $30,000, and I think we can do it.
Yes, thank you, Melissa.
All right.
Yeah.
And one other thing I wanted to mention too before we dive in and get started is we were talking about the silent auction. I want to show you how you can get to the silent auction. So it has already commenced. It has started. And as you'll see on your screen, you can actually go to auction.eventsbysharon.com, or really simply, it's also on your website and on the Facebook page.
Yes,
right?
www.larchlondon.ca.
Which is easy because you need to know that, because that's where you can go for the silent auction,
Yep.
for donations, for pretty much anything you need. You can go to the website, or if you are watching live tonight, perhaps on Facebook, you can even find it there as well. So that auction has up to, I think last time I checked it, at about 83 or 85 items. There's a lot of things in there. I told you already I bid on that charcuterie board. I think I'm probably outbid already, so I'm going to have to go back and rebid, but I will be doing so check that out. It ends on Monday. Our night, you're with us for a little over an hour, and we've got a very special evening planned for you. So that's it for me for now. I want to get the evening started, so I'm going to throw things back to Marietta.
Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. As we begin our evening together, we acknowledge the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Leapawak, and Attawandaron peoples whose traditional lands that we are gathered on today. We'd also like to ask Archbishop Linda Nichols, Primate of the Anglican Church of Canada, to open our evening with prayer.
Greetings to all who are gathered tonight for the L'Arche London Gala. Let us pray. Creator of all, your love breathed life into all of creation and each one of us, created to need one another for our wholeness. As we recognize our interdependence more profoundly in this time of the pandemic, open our hearts to the gifts that each and every human being brings to our life together in our community and in our families, by choice or by birth. Deepen the well of your love in every heart, so that it strengthens us for the endurance and creativity needed to face whatever lies ahead. For we know that our lives are better together, with one another, and with you. Amen.
Thank you, Archbishop Linda. We deeply appreciate your faithfulness and friendship and love that you share with our community of L'Arche London. Thank you for opening our evening with prayer this evening. Some of you may be new to L'Arche London. Some of you may not know a lot about us, so I'm going to take a little time to share a little bit about our community. L'Arche London is a community of belonging. In this past year, in the midst of pandemic, we've experienced that truth of our belonging together again and again, in so many ways. This year, more than ever, we have really seen that we are so much better together as a community. Our mission is to make known the gifts of people with intellectual disabilities. We celebrate the unique value of each person and recognize our need for one another. Mutual relationships and trust in God are at the heart of our journey together. L'Arche London is part of a worldwide network of 168 communities around the world in 40 countries. Our connection to L'Arche around the world as a community here in London is vital. In many ways, we are so connected to the communities right across the world. Our local community is composed of 3 homes: Cana House, Jubilee House, and Bethany House, and our community hub, the Gathering Place. At Cana, Bethany, and Jubilee, men and women with intellectual disabilities and their assistants create home together, sharing the rhythm of daily life, dinner, cleaning, fun, recreation, connecting to the neighborhood, going to church, exploring together. It's really family life in our homes. And it's true that our homes are at the heart of our community. The L'Arche London Gathering Place is a fully accessible community hub where the L'Arche London day and evening participation programs have their home. In normal times, people from all over the city join us at the Gathering Place throughout the week and even on the weekends and in the evenings for classes like arts, music, snoozlin, jazzercise, cooking, drama, and many more opportunities to connect together. The Gathering Place is also the home to our Bonjour Cafe, our Monday Morning Music Club, and I know many of you are watching tonight from Monday Morning Music Club, and we just so appreciate the friendship that is there and available to all of us at Monday Morning Music Club, and also the Wednesday Evening Coffee House. During this time of pandemic, the arts and music programs in our community pivoted to an online forum. It's been really, really interesting to see that happen, to see how we can reach out to people, even in a pandemic, gathering together online at Monday Morning Music Club, at our Wednesday Evening Coffee House, and also for 3 wonderful arts programs led by Karina during the week. These programs have all been supported by the Trillium Foundation, and we'll be talking more about that later. We're going to be officially announcing our grant that we've been working with the Ontario Trillium Foundation later on this evening. It's been a year of resilience, a year with deep focus on supporting people's health and welfare and well-being, and I'm just so happy to share with you that we have not had any incidents of the virus in our community. People have been staying healthy and well, and that's a great blessing. I want to shout out, and I wanted to mention too that it's been a dynamic year of outreach in new ways because of this time of pandemic and needing to explore in that way. I want to shout out at this time to our core members, our assistants, our leadership team, our office team, our house leaders, and our program leaders. This is a group of amazing people. You're all there. I know you're sitting on your couches right now and you're watching. And I just want to say, how deeply grateful I know we all are for the dedication and the love and the care that people have been experiencing this year in our community together in the midst of a pandemic. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people in our community, and blessings to you all as you enjoy this evening too. I'd also like to speak a word of appreciation to the board members of L'Arche London. Our board members are also watching from home this evening. Your wisdom, support, and care is essential and fundamental to the life and the life of our community, and we thank you deeply for your support. I'd also like to thank the Banquet Committee 2021, who have prepared this lovely evening for us. Anne Raimondo is our Director of Development, and she works with a group of volunteers to coordinate this evening. I'm going to name them right now: Sara MacDonald, Kathy Butler, Lauren Pizzali, Maya Lenkin, Joanne Campanar, Jen Topfer, Sharon Lechner, and Anne Raimondo. Thank you to you all for this beautiful evening that you've prepared for all of us. I'd also like to thank some partners that walk with us year after year. And so I'd just like to name a few of these partners who are faithful to our community life. We thank St. George's Catholic Church in Byron, Byron United Church, Holy Family Catholic Church in London, First St. Andrew's United Church, Elmwood Presbyterian Church, St. Aidan's Church, All Saints Anglican Church in Strathroy, the Ursuline Sisters of London and Chatham, and also the Sisters of the Precious Blood. All of you are walking with our community so closely each year. I'd also like to name the Disability Studies program of King's College for your partnership as well. Thank you for your support. And finally, I'd like to thank our Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. You are partners for L'Arche London. Your support and care for so many people in our city and in our province is deeply appreciated. Thank you for all your hard work. And now I'd like to introduce a wonderful video that was produced over the last few weeks by our friend Greg D'Souza. Greg brought together a team of people from our community, and those people brought together images and footage of what life is like through this COVID time in our 3 homes. So I'd like to sort of turn it now to the video called Messages of Hope.
Let's keep walking with each other. Toi et moi. Let's keep sharing and working together. Ensemble, what you reveal in me, what I reveal in you, what is revealed when we're with each other is hope for the world. So let's keep walking with each other.
Do you find hard during COVID times at Jubilee House?
Not being able to see my parents, not being able to see my bedroom walls, not being able to see my sister, my friends.
Can you tell me what Melissa does for you every day?
She makes me hot chocolate and tea.
I want you.
I am doing the puzzle and doing music with Greg and is keeping up with my office work and stuff.
Share the hope, 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 share the hope. You can make a difference in your own little corner of the world. Share the hope.
I would hope is temporary.
We are all different.
When we're able to go places, where's the first place you want to go to?
Like parties.
Today. So let's join hands together, learning from each one, and soon we'll find hope's rising.
Get back. Good normal. Or normal.
Share the hope, share the hope, share the hope.
Pretty soon, Janet. We just have to be patient.
Pretty soon.
Yes. You be, I'll be, let us all be messengers of hope. You be, I'll be, let us all be messengers of hope. You be, I'll be, let us all be messengers of hope.
Thank you for those messages of hope. And tonight, again, we want to first and foremost, want to thank our sponsors. Let's start off again with our gold sponsor. First and foremost, the Huron University College. And we'll be hearing from them in just a moment. Now, interestingly enough, L'Arche enjoys a partnership with Huron that supports their work to develop a social enterprise through the Bonjour Cafe, which you're going to hear about more coming up later on as well.
You shouldn't choose a one-size-fits-all education because you weren't meant to fit in. Consider a university that challenges you to show up and show off the ways in which you're going to change the world. Because we are one of Canada's oldest liberal arts universities, offering an academically elite yet accessible education since 1863. Because we offer strategically small class sizes where expert professors mentor you rather than lecture you. Where you're expected to interact and debate, not memorize and repeat. Because customizing your courses, research, and extracurricular experiences to suit your passions is what we do. Because a strong focus on professional development means you are guaranteed a paid internship. Because we offer a premium undergraduate experience with competitive scholarships and bursaries. Long lines and wait times? Not here. Our culture of care means you'll get one-on-one support from your personal student advisor every step of the way. Because you want access to our world-class academic partnerships with Harvard Business School and the Ivy School of Business. Because before you even graduate, you will connect with and receive mentorship from industry-leading Huron alumni. Looking to make your mark in the world? Want to gain the skills and connections to do so? Choose a university where you actually can do that and become a true leader with heart.
Thank you so much again for your support and for your support watching at home. Remember again, you can be donating. It's very easy to go to the website. I wanted to mention too that all of the donations tonight, you can see there, call 519-652-9778 or online at larchlondon.ca. But all of the tax donations, all of the donations tonight are tax deductible, 100% tax deductible. And I made a donation, I know my family made a donation, and you couldn't make it more simple. The thing I actually really like about it is you plug in the information, and just like that, you'll get an email, and there is your tax receipt to put in your files for the year. I'm speaking about that because I'm just submitting all of my tax receipts and everything for this year. So it's in my mind, right? So yeah, you make it so very, very simple to do. Doesn't get much simpler than that. We'll check the leaderboard coming up, but first, I really want to showcase to people and have you at home, if you don't know what the Bonjour Cafe is all about, have you really truly understand where your support is going tonight. And who better to explain that than Anne?
Yes, so I'd like to introduce Anne Raimondo. Anne is our Director of Development at L'Arche London. And Anne is the person, as I said earlier, who really helped to coordinate this evening together, along with her team of awesome volunteers. Thank you, Anne. And I'm now going to just throw it over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Meredith and Melissa. Hello, my name is Anne Raimondo, and I am the Director of Development for L'Arche London. Tonight, I am sitting here in the library, which is where our Bonjour Cafe typically takes place on Thursdays from 9 to 1. Sadly, we had to close our doors once the pandemic hit at the end of last March. Our dream is that once the pandemic is over, we can open the doors again. And that's why we're here tonight. We're here to raise funds for our Bonjour Cafe. So once we reopen, we have all of the funding in place to start our cafe and to continue this wonderful and rich program. For those of you who haven't had a chance to visit the Bonjour Cafe as of yet, I'd like to show you a brief video with Melissa, who is the creator of our cafe, and Dominique, who is our cafe coordinator.
Or 7 years ago, she expressed an interest in hosting a cafe. So Melissa has a gift for welcoming people. She wants to get to know you. She wants to know what you like. And it really makes people feel special and appreciated. Our neighbors will come to see her and they'll ask her for recommendations about what's on the menu that day and that kind of thing. A lot of people haven't had experiences interacting with people with disabilities, so it can be a bit intimidating. The cafe gives the context to kind of let people come in casually in an atmosphere that is very familiar and comforting to them. People have really come to know that people with disabilities are gifts. Melissa's been in the L'Arche community for close to 10 years. Working at the cafe has really allowed her to shine.
This is a place where people belong. You feel like I belong here.
As the video mentioned, Melissa had a dream for many years to run her own cafe. And before we had the gathering place, we did run the cafe a couple times a year in the basement of one of our local churches. Then when we started the construction on the gathering place, we thought, wouldn't it be great to add that as part of our programming? We were very blessed once we opened the gathering place to actually receive some funding through the Ontario Trillium Foundation that paid for all of our kitchen equipment as well as our cafe coordinator role. Since then, we have seen firsthand the incredible impact that the cafe has had. And we really find that the work that we do at the cafe is very missional, to make known the gifts of individuals with intellectual disability and to see the beautiful connections and relationships that they make in community. Our second goal is to be able to train, through vocational training, a skill set so that our cafe participants can go out into the world and be able to find jobs. The operation of the cafe includes 3 main programs: our baking day on Wednesday, our coffee house on Wednesday evening, where we serve baked goods and refreshments, and our cafe on Thursdays. So our goal tonight is $30,000, and this is a reflection of the overall yearly expenses. Let me break them down for you. This would include like supervision and training on the baking days, the coffee house, and our cafe day. But it also includes the vocational training, the menu planning, recipe creation and grocery shopping, preparing the cafe for the business, and of course, it's going to include the cleanup afterwards. The few months before the pandemic hit, we tried expanding our cafe business. And the way that we did that is we went to the faculty and staff at Huron University College, and they purchased some of our baking trays. This is an area that we want to expand in the future. And we were really lucky that we did receive a grant to help us with our business plan to do this expansion. So to break it all down for you, your donation of $1,000 tonight is going to go towards the upkeep and the maintenance of all of our equipment, and it's incredibly vital for this business. It'll also include things like tables and chairs, and of course, all of the dishes that we go through. Now your donation of $500 is going to go towards the cost of baking supplies for 1 month. For anyone who's been to our cafe, I'm sure you're aware of how incredibly good the baking is. Our Wake Up Brownie has become infamous, and even one of our community friends wrote a song about it. All of our baking supplies are from local suppliers here in the city, so the Arva Flour Mill, fire roasted coffee, and even from our garden, which is outside. Your donation of $400 will pay for 4 to 5 cafe participants to take part in our Wednesday night coffee house and our Thursday Bonjour Cafe. This is an incredible opportunity for vocational training, such as customer service skills, learning to bake, how to prepare an order, and how to use a cash register. Your donation of $100 will purchase the opportunity for 4 people to be part of our baking day and to learn the important vocational skills of food preparation and along with the concept of teamwork. So we thank you so much for being part of our gala tonight, and thank you so much for your donation. Any donation makes a big difference to this rich and meaningful program. Thank you again for tonight. Back to you, Marietta and Melissa.
Thank you, Anne. She's down the hallway there.
Thank you, Anne. Oh, yeah.
We're all spread out a little bit tonight, but it is a very fabulous, it's a fabulous evening for a fabulous cause.
Yes.
You know, and it's nice, even though we're not all together physically, I still feel as though we are all together virtually, I suppose you might say.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're really here with friends this evening, Melissa.
Yeah.
And so it's wonderful to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd just like to thank you, Anne, for that description of our Bonjour Cafe. It's a beautiful time every Thursday morning that we have together. It's a time when we open our doors to the community. Anyone who wants to come, during, of course, our non-COVID times, we've had a lovely time of hospitality and welcome at that time. So now I'd like to, we're going to share some testimonials from 2 participants, 2 men who who have been participating in our Bonjour Cafe and our baking program on Wednesday mornings. Justin de Guzman is part of the baking team, and Andrew Thorne is part of the Bonjour Cafe team on Thursday mornings. So we'll just share their testimonials now.
My name is Andrew Thorne. On Thursday morning, when I get up early, I get ready to go to the Bonjour Cafe around London. I am excited to go. When I arrive, I greeted by friendly people that made me happy when I am there. I am happy too. Dominique is my supervisor, and she is a wonderful friend who made me many things and gave me confidence to do things myself. I can now take orders from customers and serve soup and snacks and drinks and make change when they pay. If I make mistakes, my friend Dominique helped me to sort it out. I am learning many things that will help me to get a job wherever I live next. I am working a lot with my friend who I work with. We make a good team and have a lot of helping each other out. We get a lot of good customers. They are not smiling when they arrive. I ask them, how are they doing? And they are smiling when they are leaving. That makes me feel good. My favorite thing about working at the Bonjour Cafe is how it gives me confidence to serve the public and how appreciate everyone is. My dad drives me to work on Thursday morning because he likes to have a coffee and breakfast. When we arrived, he said the Bonjour Cafe had the best coffee and eating the good snacks. I have met some amazing people during my time at the Bonjour Cafe. Maybe I will see you there someday and I will serve you some good food.
Hi, my name is Justin de Guzman. I attended the Bonjour Cafe since it started. I remember being excited and look forward for this every week. I am truly grateful for the opportunity and practical experience I gained through this program. The hands-on skills I learned will definitely help me improve food handling, ease in the kitchen, and proper hygiene. I also had the opportunity of serving food to customers and even working in the cash register, which for me was the most satisfying of all. I wish to thank L'Arche London, especially Dominique, for your guidance and your patience. I look forward to join the baking team once again when it reopens. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew and Justin. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. We'll take a moment now to share a song that was produced by many people who attend Monday Morning Music Club and the Wednesday Evening Cafe. Laurel, along with many people who really enjoy those events, put together a kind of compilation of people from their different home environments. And we're going to see it now. It's This Little Light of Mine, and it's a video with thanks to Laurel and all the people that come to Monday Morning Music Club, as well as the Wednesday Morning Cafe.
When COVID-19 came along, we still wanted to shine. So we took our music club and open mic online. Every week we share our songs with friends far and near. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine
all the time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine on Zoom.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
We are in a house, we like to let it shine.
When we meet on Zoom, I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The life of mine can be very difficult because of COVID-19, but I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.
This little light of mine, I really love music club and open mic night, and I'm gonna let those events shine.
Bring on Monday mornings, I'm gonna let it shine.
Dancing to the hula song every Wednesday night.
Singing with friends and family, we're gonna shine so bright. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Celebrating with my friends at the open mic.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Ooh.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I'm going to throw the virus out the window.
I could hear you singing from home. I saw you tapping your toes. How could you not be singing and tapping your toes to a song like that, Let It Shine? So nice to see everyone in that compilation. And this evening, we're very blessed and very lucky to receive a reading by Senator David Adams Richards. Senator Richards will be reading from his essay on beauty. Now, Senator Richards is also a very good friend of our keynote speakers coming up next. Please welcome Senator Richards.
So I wrote this essay some years ago for the students at the Atlantic School of Theology, and it's about beauty, and it's about the war between different kinds of beauty, the worldly beauty and the spiritual beauty, which is the greatest war there is. And I'm going to read an essay, at least part of this essay that I wrote about it today. So then I am not certain if there is anything else man searches for but beauty. And if that is the case, then we must search well for it, and must look hard to find it, and must seek it where it rightly is, and not be seduced by what it pretends to be. That is the secret also, the secret of beauty that I will speak about briefly. And what tries to destroy beauty, what attempts to destroy it, is the false beauty that parades as beauty, that sets itself up in glory and parades and postures and struts and makes us want what it is. And if we want what it is bad enough, if we need what it is bad enough, we must in some respects kill the beauty that God always intended for us. This then is the dilemma of mankind, cast and wrought out in our human souls. So there is a difference between these two beauties, and this difference is profound and earth-shaking, and I might even say apocalyptic. Yes, the war against these two beauties is apocalyptic. This line, "Beauty will save the world," comes to us from Fyodor Dostoevsky, and we must recognize what he meant by this frightened, brave, incorrigible man who lived and died well over a century ago. If we visit his books, we might begin to see what he means, not for his books or Russia alone, but for all of mankind. And we might realize that, in fact, it is a fight for the very essence of our life. In one of the greatest scenes in the Brothers Karamazov, Dmitri and Alasha are in the garden at the back of their small town, talking about Dmitri's proposal of love to the beautiful Katrina and the allure of the also beautiful earthly Grushenka, when he suddenly makes this profound statement: "The devil and Christ fight for the souls of men of the earth, and the weapon they use is beauty." And we think, how could the devil and Christ use the same weapon? While reflecting upon it, they both use beauty as a weapon, but the weapon of beauty is so profoundly different. One, in fact, is the anathema of the other. I would like us to reflect briefly on Dimitri's statement that Christ and the devil fight for the souls of men, and the weapon they use is beauty. Later, in one of the most famous chapters in all of literature, called The Grand Inquisitor, their brother Ivan speaks about Torquemada, whose bloodlust perverted Christianity and Catholicism. Ivan, using the Grand Inquisitor's logic, condemns Christ. Citing Satan's 3 temptations in the desert, he decries that Christ could have helped the world by accepting the devil's offer of earthly beauty. It would have been so simple and needed, and Christ at that moment in the desert could have so suddenly done what man wanted him to do, for over 2,000 years rule the world with his love. And so Ivan says the Grand Inquisitor is now obligated to burn Christ at the stake to prevent the perversion of a Christianity the Inquisitor now believes in. And it is Christ's fault, he said, that this has happened. The one problem is, and we see it, is in the arrogance of the Grand Inquisitor, that he has accepted the world, has embraced its empires, and in some grave way has demonstrated how he, in accepting the world, perverted the very beauty Christian men and women are asked and demanded to seek. For great as empires are, this is not the beauty Christ wishes us to embrace. The beauty of Christ is a beauty that understands man's nature of helplessness and hopes to alleviate it against all the odds the world has thrown up, against a profusion of cant and pride and scorn set against this helplessness. Christ's beauty reminds us to set out to deploy what Shakespeare deploys, the fact that they laugh at scars who never had a wound. The Grand Inquisitor laughs at scars, delights in fact in wounds. Christ's answer to why he cannot give himself into Satan's temptation is in fact in the very persona of Torquemada himself. So do these things, the temptations and the Inquisition, show up in modern day, or are we so anachronistic that they are not worthy to speak about? People in fact refrain from speaking about them as if to recoil from a hot stove, as if they did not matter, or more to the point, for if they did not matter, no one would recoil so quickly. That they do matter so much, we become embarrassed by their presence and do not know how to relate our ideas about them. But no matter what age, the argument does manifest itself. When Mr. Wilberforce, the slave trader, embraced the money and emblazoned the beauty of the slave trade to deliver healthy bodies of girls and boys, men and women for profit across the sea. It was not so long ago. And when he was in a ravaged storm in the Atlantic and begged Christ, if there was a Christ, to save him, saying he would not trade in beautiful bodies anymore, that was not so long ago. And when the storm calmed and he let his cargo of frightened human beings free, and years later finally freed himself from what he had partaken in, he wrote for us all the song we all have heard, Amazing Grace, and that was not so long ago. In 1938, Prime Minister Chamberlain and his entourage, invited to Dresden the second meeting with Hitler during the Munich crisis over Czechoslovakia, was overcome by German beauty. In fact, he was seduced by beauty. There were thousands of Nazi flags waving in the sun. The lake was crystal blue. The great suites of the Grand Hotel were plush with carpet, and every whim of food and beverage an Englishman might desire. And the SS guards, young and handsome, tall and strong, stood guard in black helmets and white gloves with their bayonets glinting, while little blue-eyed blonde girls and boys dressed in traditional dresses and trousers, their faces glowing with health, handed out flowers and plums and oranges to the guests. Yes, this was a paradigm of beauty, and it was remarked by everyone in the world as beauty, by the Paris and London papers as beauty, by our own Lord Beaverbrook as well. Beauty that the world wanted and needed, and because of this beauty, the beauty that Hitler presented to his guests, Czechoslovakia was dismantled and peace assured for all those who needed and longed for beauty. The seduction was in fact the seduction by beauty of something greater than one might ever imagine. It was a beauty that took away courage and honor. As Winston Churchill, one of the few dissenters in all of England, said later to an almost empty House of Commons, "You were given the choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor, and you will have war." That was the kind of beauty, the kind we seem to be unable to resist, and the kind that allows, sooner or later, disgrace. But I will now mention the other beauty, the beauty that comes from the beauty in order to counter it. It was in 1941, and the Russian city Leningrad was surrounded, possibly by some of those very same SS troops who were so replenished in Dresden 3 years before. The city was being bombed and strafed, people were starving, there was no way into the city of death except by the lake on the eastern shore, Lake Ladoga. And in December of that year, a middle-aged truck driver was waiting at the far end of the lake, walking back and forth in the minus 35-degree weather, looking anxiously toward the bombing of the city. He was there for one reason and one reason only. He was waiting for the lake to freeze deep enough so he could take a lorry across it. And though everyone told him not to risk it, that the ice was not thick enough, he drove his lorry onto the windswept ice and, battered by cold and shells from the German guns, made it into the city of death and starvation and despair with his cargo. He managed to make it against all the odds thrust upon him. In the dark, cold, and terrified night, he made it. And his cargo? Well, his cargo, oranges for the children for Christmas. That, simply told, is the real beauty. It is the beauty that does not seduce, but asks us to emulate. A beauty that does not contrive to give, but asks us to sacrifice. A beauty that depends and even seems to ask for too much. A beauty that the devil, in tempting Christ, has no answer for and never will. But in the eternal spark of human creation, we know, we always will. A beauty that, Dostoevsky reminds us, will not destroy, manipulate, and seduce, but will save the world. It follows the fireman up the towers on that dreadful day and watches over a small boat when it turns back into a storm toward a doomed vessel floundering in the swell. It is, in fact, the harshest and most necessary beauty the world has ever known. It is the beauty I ask for all of you. It is why Amazing Grace is sung in death, and the world celebrates with the song of joy when a man or woman hands over their last piece of bread.
Thank you, Senator David Adams Richards. Your writings gives voice to the marginalized and helps us to deepen our understanding of the human experience. We deeply appreciate your presence with us this evening. Thank you. Senator Richards is a very good friend of our keynote speakers this evening. His reading serves as an introduction to their reflection. Thank you again, Senator Richards. I'd like to introduce Dr. Barry Craig from Huron University College. Dr. Craig is the president of Huron University College, and Dr. Sara MacDonald, professor at Huron. Dr. Sara MacDonald is a professor in global great books. She's also a member of our banquet committee this evening. Together, they have written several books on philosophy and literature of equality and freedom. Sara and Barry are friends and partners in our work and mission here at L'Arche London. We are thrilled that they will give to us tonight a keynote address for our Better Together Gala. I'll share a little insight into their support. For the first 7 months of the pandemic, Bera and Sara did the groceries for Cana House. 8 people live at Cana, and in the interests of safety, volunteers did the groceries, no small feat. Barry and Sara have fostered a living connection between their community of Huron University College and our community of L'Arche, London. The connection is rich, and Sara has volunteered with Gloria. Gloria is watching this evening from Jubilee House, and she is a core member of our community. Sara helped us with getting an online store up and running before Christmas, and it's a great place to share with others online. First and foremost, though, we enjoy a friendship and common work together with Barry and Sara. Welcome, Barry and Sara, and thank you.
Thanks for that introduction. If I were to assign an essay to students, something that I often have to do, I might ask them to analyze David Richards' account of beauty, and in so doing, ask them to break it down and sacrifice the beautiful for the sake of our understanding. Well, I don't have any students here today, and I can't really ask you all to do it, so I guess I'll have to do it myself, and I trust that Senator Richards will forgive me. When people think of an organization like L'Arche, they might imagine the long hours and exceptional care of L'Arche's staff and administrators. And they might think that David chose this particular essay to honor these gifts. And surely that would at least in part be true. People like Marietta, Jen, Sandra, Fabian, and many more give the gift of their time, energy, wisdom, and of course, their love. But that's just part of the story. I've been a volunteer at L'Arche for a few years. My first visit was to the music club. If you've never been to the Monday morning music club, then it can be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of people, there's singing, there's music, there's dancing. And so I was coming to this party all by myself, and I didn't know anyone. My plan, like anyone who's showing up by themselves at a party, was to stand in a corner, sort of get the lay of the land, and try to figure out what London L'Arche was all about. Well, if you know anything about London L'Arche, you know that they're not going to let you come into one of their spaces and let you stand by yourself in a corner. Gloria, one of the core members at L'Arche, quickly took me under wing. She showed me where to sit. She told me what to sing. She complimented me on my hair, my clothes, my jewelry. She even tried some of my jewelry on, and I had to remind her to give that back to me. The thing about it was that Gloria had other things that she wanted to do that morning. There were people there that she wanted to see, that she'd only get to see that 1 hour a week. There were other things that she wanted to do besides entertain me, but she gave it all up in a heartbeat. She welcomed me in, and she made me feel comfortable. She didn't even notice that she was sacrificing anything for the sake of my happiness. And that's not all that L'Arche has to offer. You see, I began to volunteer with Gloria in the office at L'Arche. And I'd go there once a week with Gloria, and we'd do small tasks, things that Marietta knew that I wouldn't be able to mess up. And what was interesting and what was really sort of inspiring to me is that during those mornings, Gloria didn't hesitate to ask when she wanted my help. If there was something she couldn't do, or more often than not, something she didn't want to do, she would just ask me to do it. Whether it was helping her in across a crowded sidewalk, heating up her tea, or cutting out the things that needed to be cut out that she found too tedious and maybe a little bit below her skill level. Gloria didn't have to humble herself to ask me for my help. She understood that we were part of a community, and that the nature of community is that we both will the good of the other, we freely give of ourselves, and we help others when we need to. And by that same token, we have to rely on others for the help that we need. Working with Gloria, I came to understand a kind of love absent of the things that usually act to divide us. She displayed an openness to a truly reciprocal kind of friendship. In this, she exemplified what L'Arche London is all about. A community where joy, which is again a kind of beauty, springs from care, and a care that is fully reciprocal, where all of one's talents, capacities, and needs are lifted up and even cherished. Now, I've got another kind of community going on here beside me, and my partner in crime has been kind of nudging me, waiting to get into the action. So I guess I'll turn it over to President Craig.
Well, thank you, Sarah. As a university president, I'm acutely aware of the impact that COVID's had on our sense of community. And a lot of us, I think, have probably had conversations with each other. We miss being together. Now, I think we're doing a pretty good job technically of delivering education to our students. They have their courses, they're online, the professors are heroically adapting themselves to this world. I don't think that we're any better or any worse, really, than we were before. I think an 8:30 calculus class is just as boring as it was in person. But even though our students are able to participate in their courses, they're able to talk to their professors, they're able to have one-on-one conversations with each other offline and in small groups, there's something missing. And what's missing is being together and sharing common life in person, living with each other, eating with each other, walking down the halls with each other, being in physical contact with each other. All of those things are absent. And I think all across the world right now, we've become acutely aware of those elements of community. It's not enough simply to be in contact electronically. I mean, it's great that this is happening at a time where technology exists that we can be in contact, and that helps preserve community, but it's not the same. Sarah talked a few minutes ago about the idea of mutual recognition. And the great Greek philosopher Aristotle, 2,400 years ago, wrote in a book that the foundation of any community is goodwill between the members, one to another. Another aspect I think we've seen of the last year or two, and if we're going to be honest to each other, it's not a great aspect of our society, is that goodwill has often been lacking. In fact, if we think about political discourse, and the way in which we engage one another on important social questions and policy, the marked feature is actually opposition and division now. Part of that, I think, is probably stoked by social media. It's so quick to respond to somebody in a negative way. And if your entire experience of community is Twitter, I think you probably come across with a really concerned and negative view about the possibilities of human community. But we know that we can do better than that. Some of you may have watched Bruce Springsteen's advertisement on the Super Bowl on Sunday, and he got a bit of criticism for this. You're selling out, you're being commercial, and so on. But for 2 minutes, Springsteen talked about meeting one another in the middle, how we build relationships by not seeking to have everything that we want ourselves, but by trying to recognize what somebody else wants, and by connecting in the middle. That's the idea of mutuality. And it really is the foundation of every successful community. There can't be any successful relationship, whether it's a marriage, or a family, or a household, or a city, where people don't recognize the value of the other one. And that's really at the core of L'Arche in the end. L'Arche isn't really about caring for the most vulnerable, although that's certainly done in L'Arche communities. L'Arche is all about recognizing the mutual value of one another. It's not a relationship of here and here. It's a relationship of people that are united by their common humanity. I think one of the opportunities that COVID gives to all of us is a chance to re-examine the communities we live in and the society that we're building. What do we want it to look back, and what do we want it to become afterwards? And you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, I can't wait till things are back to normal. Well, what if we can go back to something that's better than it was before? What if we can create a society that isn't what we had before COVID, but actually improves upon it? What if we realize the limitations of looking down on one another, of refusing to see one another's value, of insisting entirely on our own way without recognizing the worth of another individual? What if we see what is beautiful at the heart of L'Arche community and realize how important that is to all human community? For me, I'm going to be very conscious when we come back together again after this, when our isolation and our quarantines are over and we're together with one another, of listening a little more, of trying to pay attention to what somebody else is saying, of realizing that to build anything worthwhile, it can't be all about me and what I think and my preferences and my individual idiosyncrasies. It has to include, well, you know I have a few of those. It has to include the value of everybody else in that community. We see this, and we've seen this for decades in L'Arche, at work, in which the worth of one another is recognized and a community arises that's enduring and beautiful. So I think this opportunity with the Gala this year is for us to recognize what is beautiful at the heart of L'Arche, and then think about how we can take that away as we build our own institutions and our own communities and make them better. Recognize the beauty in one another, recognize the worth in one another, and commit ourselves to building a community that endures because it is good and founded in love. Thanks for listening to us this evening.
Thank you so much, President Barry and Professor Sara. Really enjoyed their keynotes tonight, Marietta.
Yeah, thank you for this inspiring reflection this evening to Barry and Sara. We deeply appreciate your presence with us this evening.
And we deeply appreciate your presence with us this evening as well. We've got viewers on Facebook, we've got viewers on YouTube, and we thank you so much. You know what, really special moment. I want to be sort of, I think, Marietta, we could be like the Vanna Whites tonight, and we could put up the leaderboard and see where we're at.
Okay.
You know, and do a little touch base and check in. So maybe in Master Control, we can switch this board and check in and see how we're doing on the fundraising board here. Oh my gosh, we are at $11,000.
That's wonderful.
We are doing amazing. Oh my goodness, we are, well, we're a little more than halfway through the evening, but we are doing fantastic. And
thank you for your support.
Thank you so much. Remember again, donations is very easy to do. So you can go to larchelondon.ca or call 519-652-9778. Just a reminder for you as well, your donation is a 100% tax deduction. So very easy to do. Now,
thank you, everyone.
And thank you. And you are so going to enjoy our next performance. I'll leave it to you to the introduction. There's just a wonderful backstory to this gentleman, and he is an amazing musician.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Melissa. I'm just going to introduce for a moment Abe Drennan. Abe is a person who has been a friend of our community since about 2008. When the story has it, he met Lisa Keegan at a L'Arche event. And Lisa is a founding assistant in our community. Since this time, Lisa and Abe have moved north of the Arctic Circle, and they have 4 children, and they are living the dream north of the Arctic Circle. It's so wonderful this evening to have Abe here tonight. He's a singer-songwriter, and he writes inspiring songs that give a sense of hope. His band One released their debut album, We All Have a Dream, in 2014. Abe's music is a good reminder that even in the darkest moments, we are all in this together. His newest project, a folk album titled The Igloo Sessions, was released in summer of 2019. The songs are personal accounts of living in the North on the traditional lands of the Inuvialut and the Gwich'in people. They are stories of loss, hope, and healing for the future. And now to Abe.
Hello everyone, this is the Keegan Drennan family coming at you above the Arctic Circle.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. This is Naomi. I'm River. I'm Malachi.
And Quinn.
Alright, my name is Abe.
Abe and I met at L'Arche in London about 15 years ago, and we have been living here in Inuvik, Northwest Territories for the past 8 years, living and working and raising our family. The boys are going to tell you all something that they enjoy about living in the North.
I like that it's 24-hour daylight in the summer and 24-hour darkness in the winter. I like that it's a very small town and you can get around really easy, and sometimes it even gets to -50. And I love skidooing.
Quinn loves skidooing. Right on, so I'm just going to introduce my video. I really hope you guys enjoy the song. It's called Way Up North. And the song, it really is about celebrating the serene beauty of this northern land. And you also see in the video where it's recorded inside the historic Igloo Church, which was built in the 1950s. And and is one of Inuvic's most iconic buildings. Really hope you enjoy the song. Lots of love to you all.
Take care, everyone. Be safe. Bye.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Land of love, land of fear, hearts alive, beating around here. Wisdom found in elders' ancient stories. Reindeer run, ravens fly free, way up north. Love and fear lie in my beating heart. I can hear a sound wild and free, a sound has a vicious grip on me. Oh, oh, way up north, up north. Northland, where tundra moon shines, midnight sun, somehow to find a voice in the wind. I can hear songs of freedom so loud and clear, way up north. Love and fear lie in my beating heart. I can hear a sound wild and free, a sound has a vicious grip on me. Oh, oh, way up north, up north. Oh, oh, oh. Way up north, love and fear lie in my beating heart. I can hear a sound wild and free, a sound has a vicious grip on me. Oh, yeah, way up north, up north, way up north.
What an absolute phenomenal family experience for Abe and his family to be in the Arctic Circle. Yeah. I know I used to work on cruise ships quite a while ago, and I remember being in Alaska, and I know about the daylight hours. I don't know about the nighttime hour, the darkness of that 24 hours. That must be very challenging at times, but what a family adventure that your kids are going to remember for a lifetime. Such a neat experience.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you to Abe and Lisa and your family for joining us this evening. It's really special for us, and I also really want to thank you, all 6 of you, for when you come south, you always visit us. We deeply appreciate that. What a beautiful song. We're going to talk now about the Ontario Trillium 3-year Grow Grant that we've been enjoying in our community these last 2 years. This evening, we are recognizing the 3-year Ontario Trillium Grow Grant, which has supported the arts and music programs you have heard about this evening. The impact of the Ontario Trillium Foundation Grow Grant has been tremendous in our community. In the fall of 2017, we opened our community hub, The Gathering Place. We desire The Gathering Place to be a resource for all Londoners. Those who join us for programs and services face-to-face, and those who we reach out to with creative opportunities for inclusion, personal growth, and belonging. The Trillium Grow Grant has supported this vision of inclusion and creativity. Hiring an arts educator and a music facilitator has supported the development of programs and services that are having an important impact on many people in our City of London. In pivoting to the programs to the online format this past year, we discovered a further possibility for reaching out to people not only in our city but across our province. We even had people from New Zealand drop in once in a while, so it's been really, really interesting to engage the online process. Thank you to the Ontario Trillium Foundation for supporting a healthy, vibrant, and innovative community here in London, Ontario. I would like to introduce the Honourable Jeff Yurek, MPP for Elgin, Middlesex, London, and the Ontario Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, and Joy Bevan of the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it's Jeff Yurek, MPP for Elgin, Middlesex, London, and I'm incredibly proud of the Ontario government through the Trillium Foundation, which has provided Arch London with support to expand its music and creative arts learning program over the last 3 years. This project was intended to bring people together in shared appreciation for the way art can bring joy. Who could have ever imagined that in its final year would make this the most important of all years? It's amazing to see how they've been able to adapt these programs safely to reach an even wider audience and connect those who otherwise must be apart. Learning, creativity, self-expression are some of the very best ways to brighten one's day, but especially during these dark times. I would like to sincerely congratulate everyone at Large London on this wonderful project and wish you all the best in the upcoming year.
Hello everyone, I hope that you and your families are staying safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. My name is Joy Bevan and I am humbled to attend your event today. As a volunteer with the Ontario Trillium Foundation from Thames Valley, I was impressed to learn about the difference your grant has made in the community. OTF is an agency of the Government of Ontario and one of Canada's leading grant-making foundations. And thanks to the funding we receive from the Ontario government, we're able to award nearly 650 grants a year to nonprofit organizations across the province. In 2018, L'Arche London was awarded a $249,900 grant over 36 months to expand the programming hours in the Music and Creative Arts Learning program to reach more individuals with intellectual disabilities. Enriching people's lives through arts, culture, and heritage, this initiative is helping access to arts-based learning opportunities and compelling artistic, cultural, and heritage experiences. What a great impact you have made with this OTF grant. I look forward to sharing your story with my fellow OTF volunteers. And finally, thank you for the work you're doing every day to make our community a healthier and more vibrant place for everyone as you aim towards having more inspired people. Congratulations.
Deep thanks to the Ontario Trillium Foundation for your support of arts and music programming at L'Arche London.
And we are hearing from everyone who is supportive of this. We've got a few more testimonies we want to share who really, now I believe it's Joan or Miriam?
Joan and Miriam.
They're going to share with you some of the art programs. And we've also got Rick, Shireen, I got it correct. I wasn't sure if Rick, Shireen, and Marissa Goodhue. Have a look at where your donations are going.
So, Miriam, here we are at the cottage. We came up here for March break a year ago, right? And then COVID happened. So we found an exciting program with L'Arche London online. And who teaches our art program?
Karina.
Karina. And do you like Karina?
Yeah.
I would say so.
And her daughter.
And her daughter. What's her daughter's name?
Sammy.
Sammy. We just met her yesterday, didn't we? So this week we've been doing, what have we been making artwork about?
Polar bears.
Well, it wasn't this week we did polar bears, but we will show some of our polar bears. This week we've been doing deers. So let me see if I can find some of our deer work here. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Do you want to hold that up to the camera? This is another one that you've done that's beautiful. And so the first one we did in our watercolor class, and this one we did on Wednesday in our paper art class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yesterday, Friday, this is what we made in our clay class that we're going to paint. We've learned so many things from Karina. We've learned, we had a session called Following the Masters. We've learned, you know, the kind of work that Picasso did. And I don't have yours here, but I have a little silly one that I made that was in the footsteps of Picasso. Yours is back at home. We're here at the cottage. So I was following in the footsteps of Picasso. But you know what was just great, which was so much fun to make, was those polar bears. We loved making those polar bears. We had so much fun with those polar bears. And I'm going to show everyone the grand finale, but here's some of your masterpieces that Karina helped us with. So you hold that up and show the camera. And tell us a bit about where are those polar bears?
In a cave.
They're in their caves. They must be hibernating. And look at those beautiful, what is all outside their caves? What are those colorful things outside their caves?
Snowflakes.
The snowflakes. Okay, I'm just going to take this away for a sec. And oh, here's some other happy polar bears. And here was our masterpiece. So when we were working with clay, you created, so Karina helped us figure out how to do this, created an igloo, and then your idea was to put the polar bear just outside the igloo, and then we put this little tea light in there, and we use this for our table decoration at night. But here's the crowning glory on our igloo. Let me just put this on. And what do we call this? What do we call this?
Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights. So there you have a spectacular masterpiece. The igloo with the polar bear and the Northern Lights. Now who wouldn't love winter, even though it's COVID? We love our L'Arche London art classes. They have been spectacular. 3 times a week. Paper, watercolor, clay creations that we make. We've made a lot of friends. And we're very thankful to L'Arche London and Karina for these great classes that we've been enjoying immensely.
Hello to our L'Arche family and friends. This past year has been unprecedented in terms of social isolation and restrictions.
There has been countless new ways that people have created to try and stay connected to each other. After all, we are all better together.
The programs we have looked forward to the most each week have been L'Arche's Monday Morning Music Club and Wednesday's Open Mic Night on Zoom.
We initially came for the music, but we found so much more. The warm, welcoming, and inclusive community full of compassionate care and unconditional love has been something that we look forward to as a family each week. Seeing so many joyful and excited faces and how valued everyone is made to feel has been a consistent high point in our lives and keeps us coming back each week.
Since she was a toddler, we've said that Marissa has always taught us to always have a song in our heart. Thank you to L'Arche for doing so much to help us all fill our hearts and for adding a little hula along the way. Marissa, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, L'Arche, for the gift of music. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick and Shireen and Marissa. And thank you, Joan and Miriam. Thank you for sharing your experience in our community with you.
And we've got some more music on the way, don't we? Some musical mentors.
We do. We do. We just wanted to share with you tonight about a wonderful new program that has just been launched in January of 2021. Just last month, Jem, Catherine, Mike, and Laurel took their musical collaboration to the onto the road into some of our Catholic schools, our Catholic high schools in London. Together as a team, Jem, Laurel, Mike, and Catherine have been bringing music education to the London Catholic Schools Developmental Education Program. They are teaching music and loving it online. Thank you to the Trillium Foundation for your support for Musical Mentors. And now a little teaser around what Musical Mentors is.
We are
Musical Mentors.
Musical Mentors with Mike and Catherine and Jim.
Hello.
It's actually very good. I just love doing it. Doing the Musical Mentors program with you guys, and also doing it in the high school where my sister-in-law used to go to.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's keep sharing and working together.
All right, it is one of my favorite times, time to check where we are at on our goal for this evening. I feel like I'm asking for a drum roll. Where are we? Marianne!
Oh my
$20,000.
That's really wonderful.
I had to do the math in my head for a second. We are 2/3 of the way there. We are so close.
And I just want all of you to know at home that this is a surprise for Melissa and I. When
we don't know.
We're learning this.
We
at the
don't know.
same
That's why
time
I'm always
you are.
looking. Yeah. We do not know.
Yeah, so just thank you all for your support. These funds will go directly to our Bonjour Cafe as we open again after COVID. When we're all together again, we will be opening our Bonjour Cafe and taking it down new roads. So thank you for your support this evening.
I have shivers. This is woo. We're heating things up in here tonight. We are like 2/3 of the way there. We got a little bit more to go, and we know we can do it.
It's really special.
So don't forget, all of your donations are 100%. You get a tax receipt for it, so tax deductible. So easy to do. All you have to do is pick up that phone, 519-652-9778. I can say it because it's true. Operators are standing by tonight. They are standing by waiting for your call. Or if you don't want to call, but we've got some lovely people to chat with on the other line waiting to hear your voice on the other end. But if you'd like to, you can visit larchelondon.ca. And don't forget, you know what? In a moment ago, I looked on my phone and I was outbid. So I need to go to the silent auction in a few moments after we're done here tonight. I've been outbid, so I'm going to have to up my bids. So watch out for whoever outbid me. I'm coming for you. Okay? Watch out. So yes. And also, let's go back and thank some of our sponsors again. If we can please thank our gold sponsors, Sobeys. We also want to thank our gold sponsor, St. Aidan's. In fact, we're going to hear from the priest and rector from St. Aidan's, Kevin George, from, again, St. Aidan's Anglican Church.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin George. I'm the priest and rector at St. Aidan's Anglican Church, and we are pleased to be with you tonight, albeit virtually. One of my favorite events in the London community annually is the L'Arche Gala and Banquet. And, obviously, like so many other things with COVID, we're not able to do that this year. But thanks be to God for the gifts of technology and for the willingness of the L'Arche community and those who love it to adapt and change and bring us together in the way that you have this evening. This is a gift. It's a gift because the L'Arche community itself is a gift. At St. Aidan's, we are proud to be in partnership with you and to come alongside and try and help however we can. Because what we've come to learn and know throughout this COVID time, and certainly we pray to be able to hold on to it much past this COVID time, is that what's being unveiled for us is that there is a lot of vulnerability and a lot of need in our community. With that in mind, we need to strive to fulfill that which our baptismal covenant calls us to strive for peace and unity among all people and respect the dignity of every human being. God is at work in this London community, make no mistake about it. And our work is to discern how to join God in that work. What's abundantly clear to me and to the parish council and to the people of St. Aidan's is how very much God is at work in the witness and in the care and in the work and in the community that you provide at L'Arche. We're glad to know what you're doing, and we're absolutely excited to be able to find ways to partner more with you and to do what we can to support in that work and join God in the important work God is doing through you and your community. Congratulations on a great evening. I know we'll be together again soon, one day, where we can all celebrate together in one room. But until then, we give thanks and glory to God for the wonderful gift that you are and for the beautiful gift of this evening. Thank you to L'Arche community, and may God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Kevin. I just want to say, I know that you're supporting us through the 55 hours of prayer that St. Aidan's engaged in some time ago. And we deeply appreciate your support tonight and your friendship and your partnership. Thank you. Before we move on, I just want to do a shout out to the students and teachers and the principal of St. Rose of Lima School. Hello, Principal Giampas. I know you're here this evening watching, and we just want to also speak to them how much we value our partnership with your school. Blessings to you all.
We value everyone's partnership, don't we, Marietta? It is a very special evening, and we have one more story before we bring the evening to a close, and it is very near and dear to my heart. I had the just the absolute fortune of meeting a lovely girl, Claire, and her parents, Stephen and Judy, and it was just, it was a magical time together, and so I really don't have to say much more because you will see the video in a moment, but I know you've got a few things that you'd probably like to say as well.
Well, yes. Claire Glass came to us in just about a year and a half ago, about 18 months ago. She joined our community and she became a member of the Cana House. It's really nice to have Claire in our community. We'll be hearing now from Claire, her parents, Stephen and Judy Glass, as you said, and Nicole Moore, house leader at Cana, and Yenna Kim, live-in assistant at Cana House.
Judy and I were assistants in L'Arche, and that's where we met, fell in love, got married. We had Claire. Claire's was named after our mentor, the executive director of L'Arche North Bay at the time, Claire Tran. And then Claire lived with us and her other two daughters until she was 30. And then she moved into L'Arche North Bay because they had an opening because one of the core members had passed. And then that's where Claire was living until suddenly L'Arche North Bay closed unexpectedly, which sort of threw us into a time of great uncertainty. And then my family said we had a place to live in Southern Ontario. And so the call went out through L'Arche, Ontario, seeing if anyone could offer Claire a place in their community. And L'Arche London stepped up and offered a place. And Claire moved in to Cana in November of 2019. And that's where she's been ever since, except for regular visits home. And it's been very wonderful.
What was the transition like moving into L'Arche London? Well, they were very open and welcoming to us as a family, and we felt included right away. And they wanted to learn about Claire, you know, her different ways and how to talk to her.
Yeah, they came up. It was a very intentional process. They came up and spent time with Claire and us in North Bay. And then when we moved to Waterloo, they came and spent time with us in our home in Waterloo, getting to know, you know, what works for Claire. And
during COVID, they were really good about calling us and video chatting so that we could see Claire and see what she was doing during the day.
As assistants at one time, as a board member of L'Arche at one time, as a parent of Claire, what we have come to learn is how critical it is for, you know, you're taking in people for their life for decades, and to have strong governance, to have a financially resilient organization, to have really great leadership and well-trained, committed staff. All those are critical pieces that all rely on each other for the community to succeed.
It's a big process to welcome a new core member into community. It's big because it's lots of logistical details to think about, but it's also mentally and emotionally a big deal. And when I think of that for Claire, I think there's one word to describe that, and that's grace. Through the whole process of discernment, through the whole process of thinking about Claire coming to our community, it really came together step by step. We just felt so showered in grace and really felt that Claire was meant to be a part of our home and also a part of our community. Claire has a really unique way of communicating, and one of the ways she talks is by sharing people's names. She does this in sharing memories, different things that have happened in her life. And I remember the first time that she said my name, and I had only met Claire a couple times. I had been to her home to visit her and her family, and she said my name. And this is really a moment where I felt known by her, where she had welcomed me into her circle, and I felt honored to be in that circle. And it was a way of that I felt loved by her, and just a really special moment in those initial days of getting to know Claire.
It's like a match made in heaven. Like there's so Claire, for Claire, music is everything, and having fun and laughter. These are very strong attributes here. And the home she's in, the people are very peaceful, and Claire loves a calm, calm but joyful setting. And so we're very grateful for all that goes into making that a consistent part of life.
During COVID, I felt safe leaving her there. The assistants are also caring, and I think Claire felt that too, and we could sense from Claire's mood that she was doing well. So it was a real comfort.
The one core member is very musical, and he likes to sing songs with Claire and reads some of the stories that Claire likes. Yeah, they have the same books. So it's the gentle nature of people there. The way that they joke around and have a lot of music and laughter between each other. It's a perfect setting.
Claire Glass. She is such a sweet, sweet lady. I would say she brings lots of joys to Cana House. And just think about Claire makes me always smile. Also, she teaches me many things, especially last year. She taught me about patience. Like, I'm the person who is really, really impatient. And that was my goal actually. Like, I want to listen to people more and I want to be more patient. And Claire, she is the one who needs her own space and own pace and like her own time. So one day I was also like, Claire, let's do this, let's go. And then she was telling me, Yana, I'm not ready. So I was like, okay, what should I do? I just like sitting down next to her chair and just waiting. And then after a few minutes, she was like singing and she was like petting me. And then I could feel like she's telling me, like, see, this is the moment I want to share with you. That moment was really peaceful and really like beautiful moment, which I never forget. I'm so grateful Claire is at Cana and I can't wait to spend more and more time with her.
I want to say to everyone watching tonight that their contributions to and participation in L'Arche London is what makes it possible for people like Claire to have a safe, happy, secure place to live. And it's something that is easily taken for granted.
When I look at this facility right here, which is largely because of people donating money and funds, the core members all have a wonderful place to go and a day program.
It's all pretty surreal, pretty dreamlike. It's so important to us as aging parents to know that our daughter is safe and has a secure place to be. And that's what L'Arche means for us. And it's so, the love and care and professionalism is so clear in all our interactions with L'Arche.
Yeah, if something happens to us, we want to know she has a forever home.
And she does.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. And Marietta and I were just talking about safety and security and the importance of that. And it is, I can attest to that, having a sister with special needs, that there is nothing more meaningful and nothing more important, as Judy and Stephen talked about, as aging parents. It's a reality that we have to face, and we think about it. And we are so lucky to have L'Arche London, to be able to have that support, to be able to lean on. And we thank you as well this evening because, I don't know, before I go on, did you want to say anything else? Because I don't want to interrupt.
I just really want to thank Claire and Stephen and Judy and Nicole and Yenna for sharing your story from the last 18 months. We're engaging community together at Cana House, and Claire, Yenna and Nicole, you together are creating community along with everyone else there. So blessings to you, thank you, and thanks for sharing your story this evening.
And thank you for sharing your time with us this evening. I know that, I made a donation, my family made a donation, and many of you have been making donations tonight. And we thank you so much for your support. It means the world to all of these people that you've been meeting tonight and beyond. These are just, a tip of the iceberg, so to speak, from some of the people that you heard of. And there are so many more that are able to that you're supporting with this. Like Bonjour Cafe sees so many people, and you are doing so many good things with it, from learning how to cook to being able to serve to being able to have that sense of camaraderie and community as well. So you know where your dollars are going, and as I mentioned earlier, they are 100% tax deductible. So it's a great cause, and you know, it's win-win when you look at that. It's very simple to donate. LarcheLondon.ca. Our phone lines have been ringing, and it continues to increase. I know that I was just checking. I was trying to get a hint from Master Control as to like where are we sitting at before we depart. We know that, you know, Monday we still have the silent auction, so this isn't the end if we haven't reached our goal yet. But we are at $22,000, and we thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And as I said, we're not quite there yet, but that's okay because we still have the silent auction, which ends on Monday. So check it out. Visit LarcheLondon.ca. You can go to the website and you literally, there's an automatic link there, or there is an automatic link on the Facebook page as well. So very easy to do. As I said, there's like over 83 items. I know I was outbid, so I've got to get back on there and put in another bid. So I'll head there after our gala concludes for this evening. But we have a very special night, and I think we did great tonight, Marietta. And
a beautiful evening.
It has been, and thank you for sharing it with us. $22,000. We're just shy of 8,000, and I know we're going to do it by Monday. I know it. I'm going to check in with you, okay, Marietta?
Well, I want to thank you, Melissa, for this evening. It's been really wonderful to be together today. We've been together since about 3:30 this afternoon preparing, and just to be together has been wonderful. And thanks to your team, who are fantastic, Josh and Nathan.
Great, everybody's out there.
Yeah,
we got them all. Everybody's covered in Master Control.
It's just been wonderful.
So thank you guys.
Really want to now say good night to everyone. Thank you for coming, for joining us this evening. We just really appreciate the community that we build together, together in London, together in this city. So blessings to you all, and we're going to close tonight with a song that was made in the last year. We couldn't be together to sing, so we sang in our own homes, our apartments around the city, and we created a song that is called the Community Song. It's really a song close to our hearts at L'Arche London, and you'll see people from the whole community represented in this song. And we'll be concluding our evening with the Community Song.
We will be. So thank you so much. It has been the Better Together Gala. It was better because you were with us and we got to spend the evening together. Yeah. So thank you once again, and stay true. Visit the website, LarcheLondon.ca, and very easy to do, and we'll continue the journey together. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Great weekend.